Hey my Aries babies, this is EJ from Taurota Tarot. I hope you guys had a good start to the week. It is now Tuesday, August 27th. Shit. 26, 27, whatever. But it's Tuesday. This is the last full week of August. The first starts on Sunday, so Aries, this is going to be your monthly for the month of September. We are going to do 4 rows of 3 plus 2 cards. If you look at the month of September 2019, it starts on a Sunday. Each week will end on a Saturday in the month of September. So those extra 2 days, 29 and 30, are on a Monday and a Tuesday. So we're going to pull those 2 extra cards, and then we'll do however many we need to do for guidance from the universe. As always, we'll do 2 for overall energy, housekeeping. So thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. If you want to see information about the cards that I use, look below. And until the 31st, this month went by quick, I am doing personal readings for subscribers for $5. So we got a few more days left. I got a handful scheduled between now and the end of the week, so feel free. I've done a bunch this month, and thank you so much to everybody that got a reading. Thank you. That's my way of saying thank you to you for hanging out with me. So let's get this crunked up. Let me cut these cards so we can see what Aries has going on for the month of September. It's going to be an enhanced reading. We're using 2 decks. A reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. What the hell y'all got going on, Aries? Like y'all got a lot going on. So let's pull the cards here. So from underneath the bottom of the deck for your overall energy, fertility, and spiritual union. For the month of September, the first week, we have harmony, memories of love, and positive movement forward. Second week, solitude, transformation, patience and planning. Third week of September, the truth card, firm foundation, fulfillment of wishes. Move these up a little bit. For the 4th week, destiny, moving on, and the happy family card from the oracle deck, the foundation and achievements card. Okay, and then let me make some more room. So we get these last 2 cards on the board, and they are new beginnings, partnerships, and alliances. So, okay, Aries, it looks like y'all got a lot of relationship stuff going on. So now, with the other deck, your overall energy, a fertility card, pulls a communication card, the Ace of Swords, and the spiritual union, pulls the Princess of Coin. First week, harmony, pulls the 4 cups, memories of love, pulls justice, positive movement forward, pulls the 5 of wands. Second week, solitude, pulls the Ace of Cups, transformation, pulls the strength card, patience and planning, pulls the King of Coin. Third week, truth card, pulls the 5 of swords, firm foundation, pulls the Emperor, fulfillment of wishes, pulls the High Priestess. 4th week, destiny, pulls the 7 of cups. Excuse me. Moving on, pulls the 10 of wands. Foundation and achievements, pulls the 8 of cups. And these last 2 little days in the month, the Fool card gets the new beginnings and partnerships and alliances, pulls the 2 of wands. Okay, Aries, y'all got a lot of shit going on. I was not lying about that at all. So your overall energy with the fertility and the communication card, some of you are beginning something new. It's the fertility card. This doesn't have to be romance related. Let me say this up front. This is going to resonate with some of y'all, not with everybody, but I'm sure there are bits and pieces in here that will resonate with everybody. Eat the fish, leave the bones. Fertility, about creativity, and not just about, ooh, I'm pregnant, no, but about the creation, the beginning of something. And with the communication card on top of this, this is telling me some of y'all are getting ready to jump off into something new, and communication is going to be very important. If this is work related, make sure that you have memos, memorandums, notes, whatever you want to call them, in email, saved, backed up. Somebody at some point may question you on something you're doing or have done, so just note that. As far as relationships are concerned, when I see Big Boy here with his check yes, check no, if you love me, when I see him, this is probably more powerful in relationships than anything else. It's time to start communicating clearly. Mercury retrograde, thank you dear sweet listener for naming it that. Mercury retrograde is over. The biggest thing that Aries would have going on now, you're close to Taurus. Uranus is floating around in retrograde motion in Taurus right now. I don't think there's a whole lot going on in Aries. A lot of moon movement and a lot of little planetary movement, but I don't think Aries has any big major things going on with it at this point. However, as clear as you can be, especially in your romantic relationships, and this is your overall energy. So if you ain't feeling this, you should be feeling this. You should be trying to be as clear as you can possibly be. There is an air of miscommunication going around now, and I don't know if it is just planetary energy or if it's just the collective in such a chaotic state right now that communication is not always clear. So Aries, your overall energy being, especially if you're starting something new in a relationship, make sure you are as clear as you need to be about what your expectations are. This is your overall energy. On the back side or the bottom side of your overall energy, with the Princess of Coins sitting on top of the spiritual union, it's not about giving away too much, but it's about how you give it away, if that makes any sense. So you're not going to be, if this is a new relationship, and this is what I call the bottom end, this is the heavy part of your overall energy, that's what I call it. Spiritual union, new relationship, or maybe a do-over relationship, and usually when this card comes up reversed, or it has reversal energy to it, it's about giving away too much, which anybody can do. Doesn't matter. You just tell too much, talk too much, do too much, and you won't get the same amount back. But this is about how you're giving it away, not how much, but how. So are you telling too much? Are you showing too much? How are you telling it? Something in the way that it's being given away. It's not the fact that it's being given away or that you're giving away too much. It's the way you're doing it. Some of you may be coming off a bit too blunt. Some others of you may not be coming off blunt enough, if that makes any sense. But particularly where your relationship is concerned, you want to pay attention, especially if this is a newer relationship. And I feel like whoever I'm talking to, most of you, this is going to be newer stuff. This is not relationships that have been kicking around for 5 or 10 years. These are things, situations and things that are definitely under 2 years old. But more specifically this year, this is a new relationship for this year. Be mindful of how you deal with your partner and how you share with them. And your overall energy coming back from that is that you may be having some kind of communication problem. I'm just looking at this. For those of you that this is bringing back as far as work is concerned, it's the same thing. It's not about how much you're giving away, it's how you're giving it away. Some of you have reverted to just the email thing, and for some of you it may behoove you to start dealing with people that work on your team or with your team. May be better if you start dealing with people face to face, especially if this is a newer environment that you're in now and you're not really familiar with all the players. Get out there and do your thing. If you're feeling like You're not communicating, which some of you, your overall energy may be, you feel like your communication is not on point. Work on it. That's what I'm going to tell you. Work on it. For the first week of September, Aries, with the Four of Cups on top of the harmony, some of you are looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side. This is not, obviously, this is not going to resonate with the group I just was talking to. If you have been in your relationship for a while, you might be losing some of that harmony. And some of you might be looking over the side of the window like, hey, who is that over there? Not going to resonate with everybody, but some of you are going to have catch a wandering eye. Particularly those of you that are just in dating relationships. You're not living together, you're not engaged, you're not married, none of that. But you've been dating a person for a while. Some of you are just tired. You're bored. Emotionally, you're not being challenged in your current situation. So like I said, this is not going to resonate with everybody, especially the group I just got finished talking to. But some of you, it's going to be you kind of looking over the edge to see what else is there. If this is not resonating with romance and is resonating with professional, some of you are looking for jobs. It is what it is. You're tired. For a lot of you, and I can kind of relate to some of this. Aries is my rising sign. But as a Taurus, I've been kind of noticing I'm not real pleased with where I am. And I noticed the harmony is, they used to kind of flow in the office. It's not so harmonizing. It sounds like everybody's singing off key. But if you have that kind of feeling, Aries, where you feel like you're not fitting in anymore, you're just not communicating with your coworkers the same. And this doesn't have to be a hostile situation where, you get to work and it's fuck you and fuck you too. No. This is just where you're in a situation and you just you're not feeling it anymore. And everything irritates you about your job. That's a good indicator that it's probably time for you to start looking to move on if you just don't outright get up and move, period. For those of you that this is romantically, be careful, because you may be checking somebody else out and they look like all that in a six-pack and you're going to get up on that and it ain't going to be shit at all, period. So just be mindful of that, those of you that are kind of, you may be bored with your current dating situation. Best advice there is to get it out in the open. Let the person know, when you get into situations where you start adding third and fourth parties and you're not really cutting anybody off, that's a good way to end up in a lot of toxic shit, if you will. And also end up with some karmic debt you may not want. So that's just a word to the wise. If you're trying to go that way, okay. But for most of you, you may just want to just keep looking and not necessarily go touching. With the memories of love and the justice card, some of you are going to get the kind of decision. This is for a whole nother set of Aries. If you're getting divorced, if you're separating, if you've got kids, you're going through child support, that whole 9 yards. This is what this is talking about. And for some of you, it's going to be just that. It's going to be about the memories of love. Sorry that you had to get to this point. And again, with the overall energy, and it's sitting right underneath the fertility and the Ace of Swords. This is another good instance where you're dealing with legal issues. You want to be as clear as you can possibly be. Anything that you're trying to get across to the other person, whether it's the person you're divorcing, their attorney, or somebody in the court, you want to be as clear as you can possibly be. Once again, this is that kind of energy that just kind of blows communication the hell up out the water. With the Five of Wands sitting on top of the positive movement forward, those of you that are going through some shit legally with your relationship, this is about keeping your focus and not letting your brain get on fire. Y'all heard me. But keeping your focus, because there's going to come a point, your mind is just, you don't want to drift. You're just tired of the grind, especially if you're doing something in court. It feels like a lot of you are dealing with some child support issues and you're trying to get shit straight about how much you're supposed to be getting, where you're supposed to be getting it from, all that kind of stuff, whether the state is sending it to you or somebody else. It's positive movement forward, but it's also about you keeping your focus in order to keep that momentum going forward. You got to keep your focus. If you let your brain get like this and start wandering all over the place and get into the land of confusion, it's going to cause you problems. It's also going to hinder you from moving forward. Getting into the second week's energy with the Solitude card, the Ace of Cups sitting on top of that, some of you are going to take, what do I want to call this, an emotional journey. Some of you are breaking up with someone. For those of you that are, this first group that I was talking to, you're in a newer relationship, it is going to be about you taking some time and trying to figure out which direction you want to take your relationship in. This is really ringing bells in my head for people that maybe recently got engaged or you recently hooked up with a person. So some of you may be even in the moving process, one person coming from far away and you guys are getting ready to move in together. Get that time to yourself, Aries, so you can process this. You know, a lot of times you get in the flow of moving and this person's coming and we need that and gotta get this, and you don't take time to process what you're going through, and then at the end of it you just feel wiped out because you have all these emotions that have just sucked the life out of you because you haven't done anything with them. So as you go through this process, Aries, take some time. Solitude is never a bad thing. Take some time, even if it's just to read something. It doesn't have to be anything spiritual. Shit, just read something out the newspaper, off the internet, whatever. But take some time for you, Aries, and this has been coming up a lot for a lot of signs. We get so caught up in our day-to-day, we don't take time for ourselves. So make sure you're taking some time to yourself, especially as you start out on this journey, whether it's professional, romantic, however that's resonating with you. With the Strength card on top of the transformation is kind of the self-explanatory, and that it is a major card. So that will put us to two major cards on the table so far that we've looked at, the Justice and this one. You need strength when you're making a transformation. Aries, you are not exempt. You are not exempt. You are not exempt this year. This is a 9-year. We're closing out a lot of personal cycles in our life. We are losing a lot of people, not obviously not dying, but just people shifting, energy shifting, people that we've had long-time relationships with, even people we haven't had long-time relationships with. Things are changing. And so as you go through this process, go through the 9-year of ending things, it takes some strength, because really what we're doing is we're closing out this year, is we're making a transformation. And everything that we've done or learned or heard or seen in the last 10 years, this is a culmination of it. And so things that don't serve us or that won't serve us any longer, the universe just has a way of moving people out of the way and situations. So understand the transformation if everybody is going through it this year. And there is going to require some strength from you, Aries, especially with the changing of people. A lot of people in your existence now may not be there come this time next year because they're not going to be able to serve any greater purpose for you, Aries, and it's just time to let some folks go. Just a word to the wise. I know y'all like, I'm just talking about now. At the end of the second week, the energy with the patience and planning and the King of Coin, those of you that are in these newer relationships, it's about the stability. And the King of Coin is about just that, the stability. Damn awesome other shit. He's about his money, about his coin, and about that stability. You're going to get to a point this month where you are going to have to sit down with your partner. Start talking about how you're going to deal with finances and how you're going to make your little humble abode do what it do. Not going to be an easy conversation to have, especially when it comes to your money, Aries. I feel you, but got to have it. It's got to be done. And for those of you that are trying to buy a house or buying a house together with your partner, be patient. I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm being told to just tell you just to be patient. The house that you're looking for is out there, but it's not going to just pop up. Maybe a thing is not ready yet. Be patient. Keep looking and be patient. That's the big thing coming off of the King of Coin on top of the patience and planning. For those of you where this is resonating back, for work or school, there may be a new person coming in on the scene, a new principal, a new coach, a new professor. They're going to be well grounded in their subject area, and they're going to know a lot of shit. They will help you get to where you're trying to go. Whether it's with a diploma or a promotion, this person can and probably will be instrumental to you. So be nice, Aries. You'll know them when you see them. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. For your third week in September, we start with the Truth card and the Five of Swords. It's about changing your perspective and your attitude, and getting out of the negative thought business. If this were reversed, that's what that would be, unhealthy and negative thoughts. It's about getting out of that and standing up in your truth, Aries, whatever that happens to be. For a lot of you, this is going to bring back to your relationship. There's going to be a point you're probably going to have to just stand up in what you believe about your relationship. And you may have to do this defending with family members, but it's going to take some change of attitude as well. And it's definitely a thing about changing the negative thought patterns. And the way to do that is get to the truth of the matter. And that takes some work, Aries. Don't think this is going to be a one-shot deal. You just go talk to your mom real quick and you're going to figure some, no. This is going to be a process. Because, again, you are going to have to change your attitude about whatever's going on. And you're going to have to stand up in your truth about it. And the only way to get to your truth is you. So you're going to have to work. Some of you are going to have to work about changing that attitude. However this is resonating back. This is the air card. This is about the intellectual, the thinking, the things we can't really see, but we know are there. Thoughts are there. Can't really see them. It's about that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind as you go through your month about bringing out your truth and what's important to you, Aries. Not what's important to somebody else, but what's important to you. Particularly if we're talking about romantic relationships, you do not want to get into any kind of unhealthy, negative thinking pattern with your partner. So whatever your truth is, you need to get it out. Let your partner know how you're feeling about whatever it is so you can move forward without having this thing hanging over your head. With the Emperor sitting on top of the firm foundation, two cards never truer that you be together, even though they are from different decks. But it is what it is, and you notice both are red, both got that fire energy. Hello, Aries, talking about you, baby. And this is all about sticking your finger out the window and seeing what direction the wind is blowing. Major card, changing direction, starting on a new direction, and planting that firm foundation. Really resonating back for those of you that are starting new relationships, getting ready to move in together, or for a small few of you getting married. This is about starting that new direction and making sure you have a firm foundation for your relationship. You can't have no relationship on no rocky ground. Just saying. The end of the third week brings fulfillment of wishes with the High Priestess. Follow your intuition, Aries. For those of you that aren't in relationships just yet, this is a major card. Follow your intuition. I know it's difficult sometimes. Intuition be like, walk over there. You're like, hell no, I'm not walking over there. They ain't got no street light, ain't no crosswalk. But it's your intuition talking to you. And a lot of times, I've heard crazy ass stories of people following their intuition and missing being deaded completely because they listen to that little voice in their head and missed a car crash or an explosion or some shit. Beside all of that, Aries, listen to your intuition, especially when it comes to your relationship. You've got to learn how to start trusting your intuition and not second guessing. I know that's easier said than done, but it will help you in the long run with your relationship because you'll intuitively know what your partner needs from you. I'm just throwing it out there, and all of that leads to the fulfillment of wishes. So a lot of you are in this energy already. Some of you are headed towards this energy. But just know, keep some perspective on the situation and listen to your intuition. As we get into the fourth week of the month, and the last full week of the month, Seven of Cups on top of the Destiny card. Some of you, your judgment may be clouded at this point, and this could be the end of the month, the first of the month, the middle of the month. The energy is going to reverberate around the way it's going to do. So if it don't fall on tomorrow, don't worry about it. It's coming. But with the Destiny card, some of you have options. And this is romance now. But your judgment, how is your judgment? Best case scenario is to find a friend, somebody in your crew that knows you if you're trying to make any kind of decision, because ultimately it's telling you that decision is going to lead you on your path to destiny, whatever that is. So make sure you're clear thinking. Whatever big decisions you're making, especially about relationships this month, Aries, make sure your thinking is clear. It may take you a couple days to clear your energy so you don't have all the chatter and background bullshit. However, once again, we're talking about your destiny. We're not talking about some little trip to the store. Big shit. Make sure your thinking is not clouded. The middle of the end, moving on. Some of you are going to be moving on, but this is not relationship related so much. This is those of you that are looking for jobs. So this is a good indication. Some of you are going to get new jobs towards the end of the month. So put your best foot forward if you're looking for a job. But ultimately, you'll be moving on from where you are. Very, 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 very small cross section of you in relationships may be doing this. This may be you moving on or the other person moving on. That energy, that termination energy is there towards the end of the month. For the majority of you, this is about work, either getting promoted and moving from one office to the next, or one cubbyhole, cubicle to the next. For others of you, it could be a complete job change. And for some of you, this is going to be unexpected, but you will be moving on. That's a good thing. Wherever you're going will help you grow. Just know that part of it. With the Eight of Cups on the foundation and achievements, is just what it looks like. Dude is trying to get up off the cups, out of the emotional, watery thingy, hoo-ha, and onto some Aries and Taurus terra firmer ground. I'm just saying. So just know some of the changes, the big changes that you're trying to make, ultimately are trying to get you to the happy family card. I'm just saying. And it's about the foundation that you're trying to lay out now, and the achievements that you make in doing that, going to help you get to this point. Just know it might be a process, but you can do it. And once you get onto firmer ground, you'll be able to look backwards and see where maybe you made some mistakes or missed some things, particularly with relationships. So this is not a bad thing. It's a good omen to have these, because it means there's something coming and you need to get prepared for it. Those of you that are not in relationships, those of you that are in relationships, if there's anything to get prepared for, it would probably be a baby. I don't know what's up with Aries. Every time I get cards in my hands for Aries, I'm always saying something about a damn baby. What the hell? The last 2 days of the month, with the new beginnings and the Fool card, that new beginning comes because you take a risk. Another major card. So this is about the direction you're going in or trying to go in. Once again, not too far from that Truth card. Getting in your own sunshine, Aries, and talking your own shit. I'm just saying, you gotta have it. New beginnings, and a lot of you are looking forward to making a new beginning, either in a relationship or on a job. You're just ready for something new. Don't be afraid to take that risk and get out in the sun and tell your shit. Partnerships and alliances. Has been pulling the Two of Wands a lot recently, and it's about that spark of what you're manifesting and how close to what you want are you really manifesting. Are you way in left field some damn where you trying to manifest a watermelon and you coming up with a bunch of plums? Think about how you want your partnerships to look, how you want your relationships to look, how you want your friendships to look, and start manifesting in that direction. Some of you may be back up here, and no mistake, same row, having difficulty with some of your relationships because your focus is not there. And so some of you, your friends may be looking at you like, what the hell are you doing? And it's just the thing of you just don't have your focus. And if you've got a lot of things going on, Aries, new relationship or relationship that's going through something right now, new job, new school, new this, new that, kids, da da dee da, you may come off as being a bit uncaring. I'm just saying, it's not that you mean to, but your mind is just in a lot of different damn places. And I get it, but again, you get back to your overall energy. Maybe it's time to start communicating some of that. And you may have to say it more than once, Aries, I'm just saying, because people forget just like you do. So you may have to remind your spouse or your kids, look, we're trying to do blah, blah, blah. That's why I'm doing this. You may have to put it out there like that. Sometimes just people, spouse or not, they just need a reminder. They forget what the big goal is, what the big picture is. So keep talking, Aries. Be as clear as you can be. The things should work out for you. Let's see what we got for guidance from the universe. New cards, new cards, new cards, new cards. Wisdom of the inner realm, of the inner hidden realms. Hidden realms. But anyway, that's what we're doing. That's what we're using this evening to clarify and to provide guidance. So the first card, the Shadow Queen, and the way these cards work, they have two sides. You have the ally side and the challenger side. The energy has been pretty clear when I've been reading. So this is the Shadow Queen. And it's about acquiring knowledge, or it can be insecurity and manipulation. In this instance, what's coming back to me, insecurity and manipulation. And usually that comes about, Aries, when you're not trying to follow your intuition. You're not listening to your gut. So do your best to work on your insecurities, especially if you're in a newer relationship. You don't want to appear insecure. So do your best to do whatever work you need to do so you can kind of overcome that. The Camel Boy, small steps, asking for help. Small steps, Aries, small steps. You want to do big shit, but sometimes you got to start out small. Small steps, and don't rush. Take your time. Whatever energy you're working through, whether it's professional or romantic, don't rush. Take your time. The Wise Women of Wonderland, integrity or compromise. It's about integrity. Definitely about your integrity, Aries. And those of you trying to look over the side of the cup to see what the hell's happening and what somebody else is doing, and I wonder if this is better than my current girlfriend, boyfriend, however that's resonating. Don't forget, you need to have some integrity in whatever you're doing. The Ringmaster of Scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, and details. Clear vision. Back to this. You gotta have strength to make the transformation. But to make the transformation, you gotta have clear vision too. You gotta have clear goals of what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to manifest. So again, the damn communication card. Even in your prayers, y'all heard me, make sure your communication is clear. You're asking for what you want and not what somebody else wants you to want. I'm just saying. Aries, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week and a good weekend. I hope you enjoy the month of September, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.